Before we begin, thank you so much to all of our Patreon patrons for continuing to support our channel. We are really, really grateful for you.
And of course, if you like the channel, if you watch, if you're subscribed, if you click the like button and the bell, you do everything that we ask you to do in every video, but you haven't yet decided to become a Patreon patron, you can do so below. The link is in the description, even if it's just for 1 month.
And check out our Etsy store. It is the last year that our Etsy store will be open. So everything on there must go. And once it's gone forever.
Today we're delving into an interesting aspect of discussions you may have had or will have with non-vegans about needlessly killing animals for taste pleasure. The tendency to use deflection to avoid answering difficult questions.
It's not uncommon for discussions about eating animals to quickly become heated and emotionally charged, as I'm sure many of you know. Instead of engaging in rational discourse, non-vegans will often deflect and shift towards personal attacks or emotional responses when faced with challenging questions.
When confronted with the ethical implications of consuming animals, people often deflect or evade the question altogether. Maybe some of you are familiar with the term gaslighting. Gaslighting is a means of psychological manipulation, in which a person might employ a variety of methods to control a conversation, as well as the other person's experiences or understanding of their own reality.
Deflection is a form of gaslighting, as it is a means of avoiding accountability. For example, if you were to ask someone, "Brian, don't you think eating animals is unethical?" And they were to respond with,
"Stop forcing your beliefs down other people's throats."
Right? This is a pretty common one. What's happening here is that instead of addressing the question posed, the person is avoiding answering by shifting blame to you for asking the question in the first place.
When there's a victim involved, wouldn't you have to justify it to them?
I don't know. Is that if you perceive that there are victims, every victim gets an explanation? I don't even know what you're saying.
Jenny, the question that we have to ask ourselves is what's higher value, sensory pleasure, the enjoyment we get from eating these animal products, or the lives of these sentient beings? What does have higher value, taste or life?
Livelihoods. Livelihoods.
But we can still protect livelihoods.
But also the environment.
Well, it's forcible impregnation, isn't it? If it was anyone, it's the victim. If it was a human being, we'd call it what? What would we call it?
But it's not a human being, it's a cow.
And how are those animals killed, Jenny?
I know how they're killed. You've done actually a fair... Well, I don't need to because you just have.
No, Jenny, I'd like you to tell me how they're killed.
You might like me to, but I think we all know.
Do you feel like you could justify making that decision to that victim who has to suffer and die for it?
Like, for example, when I have my cappuccino, could I go to a cow and say, tell the cow why I'm drinking their milk, for example?
Why? Why does deflection occur, and what drives these emotional responses?
Deflection can be a defense mechanism triggered by cognitive dissonance. When deeply held beliefs or behaviors are challenged, it can create discomfort and threaten our sense of identity. As a form of self-protection, people may deflect and attack the questioner or respond emotionally to avoid facing the challenging questions.
Challenging our long-held beliefs or questioning our habits can be uncomfortable. It's natural to want to protect our self-image and avoid the potential cognitive dissonance that arises from confronting the reality of the impact our actions have on others.
In addition, society has normalized animal consumption, making it a deeply ingrained cultural practice. When someone questions this norm, it can be seen as a personal attack or an assault on one's traditions and values, further fueling emotional responses.
Yeah, our cultural and societal conditioning plays a significant role in shaping our beliefs and behaviors. Challenging these norms can evoke strong emotional reactions, leading to deflection rather than open dialogue. It's important to recognize that deflecting or resorting to personal attacks doesn't contribute to constructive conversations. It shuts down meaningful dialogue and prevents the exploration of different perspectives. Of course, it takes a person with some degree of emotional intelligence to take responsibility for their actions and have these complex and often difficult discussions.
In order to foster positive discussions, it's crucial to approach these conversations with empathy and an open mind. Instead of deflecting, everyone should strive to 1. employ active listening. 2, acknowledge different viewpoints. And 3, respond thoughtfully to the difficult questions raised.
Note the word difficult. It is okay if a question is difficult to answer, but take it as an opportunity to ponder and self-reflect, even if it might uncover some uncomfortable truths about the choices you might be making. Otherwise, how do we expect to grow? How do we expect to have sincere conversations about the issue? Understanding why deflection and emotional responses occur in discussions about eating animals in this case is key to fostering productive conversations. Remember, true growth happens when we embrace challenging questions and approach them with open hearts and minds.
Okay guys, that's it for now. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, or if you want to share your experiences with deflection, please do so in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more vegan content ahead. Until next time.